Chapter 1. The Arrival of Thomas. The heavy clang of metal gates echoed as Thomas stepped into the prison, his heart pounding in sync with the ominous sound. At 35, he was no stranger to the weight of regret, yet nothing could prepare him for this moment. The stark contrast of the lush forest surrounding the prison amplified his feelings of isolation. As he walked through the stark corridors lined with faded gray walls, a wave of despair washed over him. Thoughts of his past life, a dedicated teacher, a nurturing mentor, flooded his mind, haunted by the tragic mistake that altered his path forever. He felt eyes on him, some judging, others curious, each gaze a reminder of his faltering identity. Yet amid the uncertainty, a flicker of hope ignited within him. Could this place be a catalyst for change? As he took a deep breath, he resolved to confront his demons and seek redemption, no matter the struggle ahead. Chapter 2. Maria's Story. Maria sits on her bunk, the narrow confines of her cell contrasting sharply with the dreams she once held. At just 24, she had envisioned a life dedicated to healing as a nurse, her heart set on helping others. Instead, she finds herself here, serving time for drug trafficking, a crime born from desperation and the need to escape a turbulent past. As she reflects on her journey, the echoes of her family's disappointment reverberate in her mind. She thinks of her younger brother, whose admiration turned to concern as her choices spiraled out of control. Maria's once bright aspirations now feel like a distant memory, replaced by a heavy burden of regret. Yet, amid the sorrow, a flicker of hope ignites within her. She's determined to reclaim her life. Maria dreams of rehabilitating not only herself, but also the lives she disrupted, envisioning a future where she can once again wear scrubs and help those in need. Chapter 3. James's Battle. As the dawn broke, the soft sounds of nature blended with the sharp clang of prison gates. James, a 42-year-old war veteran, stood by the steel bars of his cell, staring into the distance. Once a protector, he now felt like a prisoner of his own mind, grappling with the shadows of PTSD that haunted him. Flashbacks surged like waves, dragging him back to the chaos of war, the sounds of gunfire, the faces of fallen comrades, and the weight of survival. In therapy sessions, he struggled to share his inner turmoil. Yet, amidst the vulnerability, he found solace in the camaraderie of fellow inmates who listened without judgment. Conversations flowed, laughter broke through the walls of his pain, and for the first time, James felt the flicker of hope. His journey to reclaim himself was just beginning, reminding him that healing could emerge even within the prison's stark confines. Chapter 4. Eli's Reflection. Eli, a 45-year-old inmate, sits quietly on his bunk, lost in thought. His weathered hands, marked with tattoos of his past affiliations, tremble slightly as he scribbles in a tattered notebook. Having spent more than half his life in and out of prison, he reflects on the cycle of crime that entraps him. In his youth, the thrill of rebellion and survival overshadowed the consequences of his actions. Memories flood back, faces of friends lost to addiction or violence, moments of fleeting joy quickly followed by despair. "I want something different," he writes earnestly. Eli yearns for a chance to break free from the chains that bind him, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Within the confines of these walls, he finds a glimmer of hope in the rehabilitation programs. Maybe it's not too late, he muses, determined to reclaim his identity and find redemption that he thought was forever out of reach. Chapter 5. Daily Grind. The day begins with the sharp clang of the metal gate, pulling each inmate from their dreams into the reality of prison life. Morning roll call echoes through the halls, a ritual of order amidst chaos. The clattering of trays in the bustling kitchen fills the air as inmates line up for breakfast, voices mingling in a blend of laughter and grumbling. Thomas pays close attention, noting the intricate dynamics, a subtle hierarchy established through shared experiences. After breakfast, they disperse to their chores, cleaning common areas, tending to the garden, or working in the laundry room. The rhythm of daily life unfolds, punctuated by the distant sounds of nature filtering through barred windows. In this structured environment, Thomas finds solace in routine, but also a sense of yearning. Each monotonous task reflects the struggle for time to move forward. Yet, within the grind, moments of unexpected camaraderie spark a flicker of hope among them. Chapter 6. Finding Community. In the sterile confines of the prison walls, Amidst the clattering of tray carts and muffled conversations, a sense of community begins to blossom among the inmates. Here, laughter emerges as a lifeline. The light moments shared during mealtimes act as a balm for the weight of their circumstances. Thomas recalls the warmth of unexpected friendships, a shared joke during roll call that sparks a chorus of chuckles, temporarily drowning out the oppressive atmosphere. Maria finds solace in group events, where they engage in card games and storytelling, revealing vulnerabilities that bond them together. James observes how these connections empower the inmates, breaking isolation and instilling a renewed sense of purpose. Eli, too, feels lighter. For the first time in years, he's not just an isolated soul, but part of a collective striving for change. In this shared resilience, they discover that even behind bars, camaraderie can ignite hope and healing. Chapter 7. Diary of Regrets. In the quiet corners of the prison, the echoes of lost dreams resonate through scattered diary entries, unveiling the raw vulnerabilities of the inmates. Each page provides a glimpse into their inner turmoil, where they confront the haunting shadows of their past. Maria writes about the joy of her younger sister's laughter, now overshadowed by guilt over her choices. James reflects on the camaraderie of his platoon, each name etched in his memory, their futures forever altered by his actions. Eli scribbles about prison walls closing in, yearning for a different path, but feeling the weight of history bind him to a cycle he longs to escape. These intimate moments reveal more than just regrets. They embody a profound longing for forgiveness and redemption. As the sound of a distant train whistles by, it symbolizes hope, a reminder that the journey toward healing has just begun. Chapter 8. Seeds of Change. As the sun rises over the prison garden, the vibrant colors of blooming vegetables contrast sharply with the gray walls surrounding it. Inmates gather in the morning light, their hands immersed in rich soil, planting seeds not only for crops, but for their own futures. The garden, once just a patch of land, has transformed into a sanctuary of hope, where laughter intertwines with the rustling of leaves. Maria kneels beside Eli, sharing tips on nurturing the young plants, their camaraderie blossoming like the seedlings around them. "It's about patience," she says, recalling her own struggles with addiction. Eli, inspired by her resilience, reflects on how this simple act of cultivating life feels like a second chance. Through this rehabilitation program, inmates forge connections and rediscover their worth, learning that just as seeds need care to grow, so too do they need support to break free from the cycles of their past. Their shared labor becomes a metaphor for their journeys toward redemption. Chapter 9. Creative Outlets. In the dimly lit classroom that doubles as a makeshift workshop, the air buzzes with anticipation. Today, inmates gather for the writing workshop and escape from the confines of their reality. Thomas sits with a pen in hand, feeling the weight of his past lift as words begin to flow onto the page. He writes of loss and longing, of dreams shattered yet flickering with hope. Maria reads her latest poem aloud, her voice trembling yet powerful as she captures the struggles and resilience of her journey. Laughter erupts as Eli shares a short story filled with dark humor, revealing layers of his personality that often go unseen. Their words weave together a tapestry of shared experiences, healing the wounds of isolation. Each line penned in that workshop serves as a reminder that creativity can be a lifeline, offering a chance to reclaim their identities and find purpose amidst despair. Through writing, they discover that their voices still matter, echoing with promise. Chapter 10. Emotional Journeys. In the dimly lit group therapy room, the atmosphere is charged with vulnerability as inmates gather to share their truths. James, a war veteran haunted by memories of battle, takes a deep breath and recounts the day that changed everything. "I thought I was protecting my brothers, but I lost a part of myself," he says, voice trembling. The others listen intently, drawn into his raw honesty, as he reveals the weight of guilt he carries for his past actions. One by one, fellow inmates open up, sharing stories of heartbreak, families torn apart, friends lost to addiction. Laughter mingles with tears as they find solace in each other's experiences. In this sacred space, bonds form, built on the recognition of shared pain and a collective yearning for healing. These honest conversations enhance their connection, demonstrating the profound strength found in vulnerability and planting seeds of hope and understanding in the hearts of each participant. Chapter 11. Flashbacks of Freedom. As the inmates sit in the common area, the conversations shift from the daily grind of prison life to memories of the outside world. James gazes at a worn photograph of his daughter's first birthday, the laughter of children echoing in his mind like a distant song. He recalls running through the park, surrounded by the scent of blooming flowers and the warmth of sunlight, moments he now longs for intensely. Maria shares her memory of dancing at her cousin's wedding, the joyful chaos of family and friends enveloping her, a stark contrast to the stark walls of the prison. Eli, too, reflects on a time spent fishing with his grandfather, the calmness of the lake soothing his spirit. These poignant recollections paint a vivid picture of life beyond bars, weaving a tapestry of joy and loss, a bittersweet reminder of what was and what they yearn to reclaim. Chapter 12. Inspiring Change. As the months passed, the atmosphere within the prison began to shift. Maria, once consumed by her own struggles, embraced the role of a mentor, guiding younger inmates through their challenges with unwavering empathy. Through her, others discovered the power of community and support. James, finding solace in vulnerability, stepped into leadership, facilitating group discussions that encouraged open dialogue about their pasts and shared fears. Eli, determined to break free from his own cycle of crime, organized workshops that inspired newcomers to explore their creativity. Together, they fostered a ripple effect of transformation, celebrating each small victory, a kind word, a moment of laughter, or an accomplished goal. The prison walls, once a symbol of confinement, transformed into a space of hope and growth. As they bonded over shared experiences, the inmates ignited a fire of resilience within one another, proving that redemption is possible, even in the darkest of places. Each act of kindness echoed with the promise of a brighter future. Chapter 13. Facing the Future. As the year draws to a close, the atmosphere in the prison is charged with anticipation. Inmates prepare for their impending release, each grappling with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Thomas stands in the communal area, reflecting on his journey, a journey filled with self-discovery, growth, and the bonds formed within these walls. Maria practices her nursing application one last time, envisioning a future where she helps others instead of hurting them. James confides in his peers about the fear of reintegration, sharing how therapy has equipped him with tools to manage his PTSD. Eli, once a cynic, now dreams of mentorship, ready to guide those who will follow in his footsteps. As the final roll call echoes through the yard, a sense of solidarity envelops the group. They recognize that while their pasts are marred with struggles, their futures hold the promise of change, a chance at redemption intertwined with the support of their newly found community.